In our latest Pueblo Watch, we continue our investigation into the murals erased along the ARTery. This time, we sat down with one of the artists at the center of the story, Matt Refic. His work has helped define Pueblo's creative corridor. Now, with some of his murals gone, he shares what the loss means for this city and why it's about more than just paint.
I look at them like they're property of the community. Like after I create them, like I make them so that they're for the community.
But on April 15th of this year, the city of Pueblo sent in its graffiti removal crew into the ARTery. Without public notice, they covered murals in Central Plaza that had stood for nearly a decade, erasing images that have helped define Pueblo's identity.
Through the efforts of revitalizing Central Plaza that was attempted, I think that was in 2014 as well. They installed those panels and then we started painting on those. And so I went down there and I wasn't really aware that they removed all of them. Like I knew that they maybe had removed one of them or something, but I didn't realize they just randomly went and removed every single one. They didn't even remove them. They just, just destroyed them and actually caused property damage because when I was looking at it, those panels are put on there to preserve the brick and they got their paint all over the brick as when we paint them, we mask it off and make sure that we don't harm the brick at all, which was the point of the panels in the first place.
The murals weren't random splashes of paint. They were part of the Central Plaza revitalization effort, a project meant to bring life, color, and connection to a neglected area of downtown and its alleyways. But after they were erased, Mike Purdy, the city's community service coordinator who oversees the graffiti removal crew, defended the move. He disagreed with the building's owner, who said that this part of the ARTery had become a destination where people came to take photos. Purdy described the alley instead as a filthy and dangerous place.
The murals that were destroyed, they're used in like countless senior photos and, they exist as this part of public culture for sure. And wedding photos, campaign photos, like they're pretty widespread images, even though they are in this obscure kind of location. And so it's like, well, do we want to allow that to continue, right? Of them being able to destroy things without us just coming back and fixing it when, they're taking a position that they're trying to make the community a better place, but then they created a massive problem. One, they damaged the building, they destroyed public art, and then instantaneously it was written on with gang graffiti. Like it had sat there for 11 years with no graffiti at all. And then they remove it one day later, it's covered in gang graffiti. And so that really indicates these things are effective at reducing that. And it's funny that the gang graffiti is still on those panels. Like they could have done it on the brick, but they were like, oh, look, these panels are perfect for spray painting on. And so, but as they sit there as artworks, they sit there and they make the neighborhood a little bit safer because it's at least closing off that area to any kind of vandalism.
Research supports that idea. Studies in cities across the U.S. and abroad have found that murals help prevent graffiti by signaling community ownership and pride. And the city still takes the position of no comment on our original inquiries into this story. But when we asked a follow-up, whether officials had obtained clearance from the Historic Preservation Commission before painting over the murals, they sent this reply back. In short, the city argues that the panels the murals were painted on were never given permission in the first place. And in regard to painting over them, they say they are not required to get approval when it is considered graffiti. But others who are deeply involved in revitalizing Central Plaza argue otherwise. They point to the Central Plaza Revival Project led by Bill Zwick at the City of Pueblo. It met weekly over a 3-month period at Cadoya Gallery. The goal was to improve Central Plaza and the surrounding alleyways, and part of that process included finding solutions like the panels to both preserve the historic brick and support public art.
At a certain point, they can either hold themselves accountable and be like, we made a mistake, or keep, trying to justify it and being like, well, we did this on purpose. Because then, to me, then it's like, well, it's just an attack on the community. Like, why would they try to justify that?
So far, no one from the city of Pueblo has reached out to Refic.
No, I have not heard anything from anybody. I mean, my only connection to it is through you, actually, through Pueblo Star Journal is the only thing I'm getting any intel from about it all, which is, quite interesting because, they destroyed like four of my works of art.
Even with the frustration, Refic says the story doesn't have to end there.
My vision is always of like, how do you build bigger and stronger communities, right? Like, and so I always just lean towards that. I'm like, like one, I'm trying to see how this unravels, but then I always look at it as like it's an opportunity to create something new as well. Like, let's create a better, stronger community where we're creating more and being more engaged in the community and participating more in the community.
Refic's call to build a stronger, more engaged community is a reminder that erasure isn't the final word. What happens next will shape how Pueblo values art, history, and public trust. But behind every painted over panel are unanswered questions about process, accountability, and the way decisions are made in this city. And we've asked, we'll keep asking, and we'll continue pressing until the record is clear.